This is the Vero Engineering Synapse XL. This knife was loaned to me by HeroSticks. Thanks, HeroSticks. I really appreciated it. He sent me a box with 5 really great knives in it. Pretty much all of them I want. Certainly all of them I would take. But this is in the very top. As you know, I've talked about this a lot since June, when at Blade Show I got my own Synapse. This is the regular size Synapse at 3¼ inches roughly, that blade, and this beautiful natural canvas micarta handle, which is slowly but surely taking on my funk and starting to patina nicely. I really, I talk a lot about how amazing this knife is. Best tech made. Always wanted an XL, so HeroSticks loaned me this so I could check it out. In this beautiful San Marzano Tomato Red G10 handle. I absolutely love it. It's beautiful. One of the updates from the first round of Synapses and the earlier productions of Vero Engineering is tilting that down, just canting the clip down at the top. People were complaining that this would give you a hot spot. And that's the only negative I ever heard about any of these knives, and he took care of it. So you've got yourself a beautiful 4-inch M390 blade, right? This is M390 Vero, yeah. Number 932, also made by Best Tech, and just fantastic, man. This thing is so compelling for all the reasons. This is just bigger, so I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about how awesome this thing is, but it really is. And one thing that this has in spades is ergonomics, and I wouldn't have thought so when looking at this because of that 2-finger choil. I talk about 2-finger choils a bit. Sometimes I might latch on to the topic and go on and on about it, but they're infrequently comfortable to me. But this is definitely a comfortable 2-finger choil. One of my favorite knives of all time, the Emerson Sachs, which I don't have on me, has that sort of midline partition on the pectoral side of the handle, and it's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Same thing with the Contigo and several other knives that are not coming to mind, but on this blade, on this handle, it works really well, and differently from how it works on the small knife, on the smaller, and there's a smaller version than this too. But in this regular Synapse, this double finger choil works well for me in this position when I'm using the this little shelf here created by the blade tang and the bolster for my forefinger, and grip the blade like this. So then my middle 2 fingers, so I can go like this. Yeah, man, this blade rocks. But those fit in there nicely, and I just get a really good grip. In other words, this I do not use like this behind the bolster. I just don't. It's not as comfortable, and then you do feel that clip as a hot spot. So on both knives, the 2-finger choil works so smooth. Works well, but in different ways. This one here, and then also in that mode here with the fingers up, choked up. So really, really great knife. Same blade. I love the look of the blade. Just a standard kind of very super useful drop point, but beautifully enhanced with that nice swedge, with those nice grind lines, and then that super tall flat grind. Very sharp. You can hear this. I like to listen to. You can hear how thin a blade is, and that's nice and thin. But it starts off robust enough. I love this area in here. I love the way it looks. I love to look at that internal stop pin traveling. I don't know. It's pleasing to me. It's a very nicely, beautifully engineered knife. Huh? See that? See that? Okay, so you got a bolster lock here. I like the way that the only sort of identification is here, and then the serial number here. So when you look at it from the side, it's nicely unencumbered by text. You got that Vero logo on the clip, which is nice. I like how the clip is sculpted. I like how it marries up with that line on the tail. on the tail end. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. This is very comfortable in reverse grip if you were to need it in such a grip. And that 2-finger choil comes in nicely for something like this for me. And then you've got big gargantuan hands. Maybe it's more like this, you know. But yeah, it feels good in reverse grip if you ever need that. And I do like this touch here. Clearly, Joseph Vero is a knife guy. Otherwise, he wouldn't have thought to mill out that little pocket so you can Spidey flick it or middle finger flick it. And on some of his models, I think the Axon, in some of his models, it's milled in on both sides, which is, I guess, more equitable to the lefties among us, but they are a very small crowd, and so maybe sometimes not catered to as much. Titanium bolsters, just really nicely done. And then, like I've talked about a million times with this, just the coolest flipper tab ever, in my opinion, in my estimation. Though I do like a flipper tab that acts as a finger guard, but this is not that kind of knife and doesn't really need that. And this is so nice, so subtle, and it reminds me of the early Boker Quaken days when people were modding it by milling out or just taking out a bit of this front bolster and revealing the tang and just jimping it a little, and then you were able to flip out the Boker Quaken back before they had 6 trillion different iterations of that knife. That's another thing I like to go on and on about. The endless iterations of that knife and of the Elementum. It's like you just cannot come up with more ways to make a knife than they have for that Boker Quaken. But in any case, this is not about that. This is about this. Let me show it off with some knives. I like to do that. Here it is with a Off-Grid Knives Scorpion. This one is in their Elite series, which means it used to mean that they had WE knives build this. This was from the first generation. This is WE knife built. Now their Scorpion, they have a Scorpion with a number of different really nice blade finish configurations and different inlays that are top notch. Those are being made by Bestech. I think Bestech is just really, really, really good. I initially thought the Vero knives were made by Riot. The quality is so high, so now I know that Bestech just makes incredible stuff all around, including these off-grid knives. And so you got that. Let's see with another here it is with a Riot. This is the K2. That's an in-house design. Oh, wow. That appears much smaller. I'm pretty much staring straight down. So there's that. Let's see. Other excellent big 4-inch bladed knives. There you have the XM24 from Rick Hinderer Knives. And then here you have the Fox Knives Jason Knight collaboration. The MK Ultra, another big, that's like 4 1/4 inches actually. This is a great knife. Feels very light and is quite thin and easy to carry and super sharp, very handy. Kukri's a handier shape than you might think. Let's see, a couple of other great knives. Here it is with not quite as big, but definitely robust. The Cold Steel 8015. That's something I get out of, I'm looking at these two and I'm like, why did I bring out the 8015? Well, the blades kind of are reminiscent. But there's a certain sort of innovative spirit in Joseph Vero's stuff that is, obviously present in spades in Andrew Demko's work. So I think they just made me think of one another. Here with TRM, that's the Atom. Nice American-made knife. And then this, something I've been carrying a lot recently that I really like. And the reason I bring this out is because the Tucson, this is the Tucson TS301 in D2. I've experienced a number of them. This is the only one I own because it's really to my liking visually. And since having it, I've discovered it's really to my liking to use as well. But these knives are so incredibly made. So it just goes to show These knives that are coming out of some of these manufacturers are just incredible. They're amazing. So you marry that up with design like this, Joseph Vero's designs and his thoughts about mechanics and ergonomics and how the human hand interfaces with the whole system. Like this in here is so comfortable, so easy to use. And the bolster lock is just a great idea because you never ever run into any of that BS with depressing the lock bar and therefore the detent ball into the blade, making it harder to open. You just don't deal with that at all. I really like bolster locks. I'm not sure if that's I guess that's an extra step in engineering, and there's more to it, I guess, but I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot, and I love this knife. So thank you, HeroSticks, for this loaner, and I do recommend, if you like the design of these Vero Engineering knives, they are definitely worth selling. Some of the ones you don't use anymore to get your hands on. And then if you know that if you want to sell it somewhere down the line and buy something else, this will retain its value. You can get your money back on these, from what I've seen in any case. Well, anyway, thanks to everyone. Take care.